Oh man. All right. Well, oh God, that knew how to get me. Welcome back to Screen Crush. I'm Ryan Airy, and I am currently waiting for the Superman trailer to finally upload. I've been hitting refresh all morning, like I know a lot of you guys have. So we don't normally do this, but today I want to film a reaction video. But the reason I'm going to do this is because Superman is actually very, very personal to me. Like, I love the MCU and I love Star Wars, but I grew up with Superman movies. Watching that very first Christopher Reeve movie when I was a kid, back when like you had to rent a VCR from the library. And I remember getting so excited and like, wearing my pajamas and putting on a pillowcase and hopping around on the sofas. To me, Superman has always represented what a superhero should be. He's somebody who embodies hope and who gives us all a model to strive for. And maybe it's because like I grew up in a small town in a trailer park and Superman's from a small town who dreamed of going off and doing bigger things with his life, and then who went on to move to the city and dedicated himself to like helping people. These are all things I could personally relate to. But I recently even watched that movie, the documentary Super/Man, and it's just amazing how Christopher Reeve was not a person who thought of himself as a hero. He wasn't a hero. I mean, the documentary goes into that. He was an actor and a young man and, played the field and stuff like that. But his accident brought out something in him that was heroic. He meant so much to so many people and gave hope to so many people. And I really think Superman, the character, does that for all of us. I'm going to ugly cry during this trailer, I can tell you guys already. I just wanted to let you guys know how much this character means to me. I grew up with his Christopher Reeve films, the cartoons, the Max Fleischers, the ones that were on the Warner Brothers network that tied in with Batman. Recently, My Adventures as Superman has really hit a nerve with me too. Man of Steel, I've talked about it here on the channel, never hit with me because I always thought Superman doesn't kill. I've talked on the channel about how I thought he was a good Zack Snyder character, but was not Superman. If he just would have like invented a new kind of hero instead of making it about Superman, I think I could have gotten behind those movies. But man, I think James Gunn is just really, really getting it with this character. Again, I can remember certain Superman movies like Superman Returns. I remember where I was the first time I saw that. I remember shouting for the theater to shush whenever those titles came up. I remember watching the original trailer on the Warner Brothers website, pre-YouTube, and just like bawling as soon as I saw that mailbox with Kent on it. The recent Superman and Lois. I used to videotape Lois and Clark Adventures of Superman. But I'm not trying to brag about how big of a Superman fan I am. I'm trying to tell you guys just how personal this is for me. Like the Superman movie, and particularly the way James Gunn always finds a way to attach himself to like people who are outsiders. And essentially that's what Superman is. Superman 4 is much maligned as like the worst Superman movie. And frankly, it's not great, but it's the best ideas on paper. And there's even a point in it where in Superman 4, Superman like throws away the world's nuclear weapon supply. And at the end of it, he gives a speech at the UN where he says, "I just wish you could see the world the way I see it." And those first shots where Superman's flying in space in Superman 1, Christopher Reeve was a pilot, so he actually knew how to bank correctly to make Superman turn. So it looks so real. And those shots when he's soaring above Earth, I think we all saw Earth the way Superman sees it. It's just like one tiny little blue marble in the middle of infinite space and blackness and death. And it's all we have, this one little dot. And as long as we have heroes like Superman to show us the way, I think we can all agree we can make this world a better place.
We're all part of the same team.
Like I said, it's going to be a tough reaction video. So I'm excited. I think the trailer's finally debuted. I'm gonna get it queued up right now. He always goes back to the Arctic, even when Henry Cavill said, "Okay, never mind, I'll stop talking." Wow, they went with the trunks. He looks so comic accurate. And I think he's been hit by kryptonite. Oh my God, Clark looks completely different from Superman. Like they changed his hair so well. And I love that the Daily Planet is back to having like the globe as the symbol, the globe on the roof too. It's the same font as Superman 78. And they've taken the John Williams theme and made it rock and roll. That's so cool. Oh, is it going to be Krypto? Or Comet, the Super Horse?
Krypto.
Oh, good boy!
Home. Take me home.
Oh. Oh, he looks great as Luther.
Superman.
Okay, they're jeering Superman. I think that's going to be from Superman Birthright. That was Nathan Fillion, this guy. Oh, the Justice League's in the trailer. I can't believe this. Oh, God. Oh, man. All right. Well, oh, God, that knew how to get me. There was so much in there. We are going to do a full trailer breakdown. My hands are shaking. That's Superman. Oh, gosh, this is a little embarrassing for me, guys. I don't normally come onto YouTube and cry. Normally everything's like really scripted and really straightforward. That trailer, I mean, I knew James Gunn, because James Gunn always makes me cry. Like Guardians of the Galaxy 3, all the stuff with Rocket, and oh God, and Lila and Elijah and everybody, it always gets me. But like I said, Superman has a really special place in my heart. What I got from that, again, we're going to do a trailer breakdown, and it's like soon. We're, like the team, we're like just so excited about this movie. What I got from that, there is this great comic book. Like James Gunn did us all a favor. He released like a reading list of things to read. One of them is this great comic called Superman Birthright by Mark Waid and Leinil Francis Yu. And I think I pronounced that right. I don't know. I can't even pronounce my own name right at this point. That comic book Birthright is kind of reimagining Superman not first appearing on Earth, but like him revealing himself to the world. And they did a really cool thing where like Lex Luthor, who is always very jealous of Superman, basically he like finds out Superman's Kryptonian before Superman does. And then he like feeds all these stories and images to the public saying Superman is the first of like an alien invader race and he's a scout. So the public actually turns on Superman because Lex Luthor is trying to establish himself as the hero. And I think we saw like there's a bit of that. There's a scene where he is the crowd is like jeering at him and throwing stuff. And I think they might go, and that's cool because we've never seen that in a movie. Like we saw a little bit of that Superman paranoia from Batman and Batman v Superman, but not really from the public. Like the public just loves Superman in every Superman movie. But a few films have dabbled in it. Like Superman Returns did have Lois writing that "Do we really need Superman?" editorial. A few other obviously Krypto. Like James Gunn, obviously, like he's a big animal lover, and PETA really honored him for Guardians of the Galaxy 3. But just seeing Krypto in there, oh my God! And the fact that he's willing to put Krypto and all these other heroes like Mr. Terrific and all these other people that we got glimpses of in the trailer, who Richard Donner with Superman 1 had this thing we've talked about in videos before called verisimilitude, which is like realism. He wanted everything to feel grounded. He wanted people to take Superman seriously, which for when Superman arrived in the late 70s was really important because the country was at this, with Jimmy Carter doesn't matter. The country had a malaise about it, after Vietnam and Watergate. And then this guy comes in, this silly man dressed up in silly tights. But Christopher Reeve took the character so seriously. Donner and his screenwriters and Mario Puzo, everybody took him so seriously, and it made the audience take him seriously. And I really do think that movies like Superman and Star Wars really reached people when they needed it the most. And that's when Superman kind of re-entered our zeitgeist and people could take him seriously. And in this movie, I think it's significant that the thing we see in the trailer is Superman like face in the snow defeated where he needs our help. He needs Krypto's help. And the fact that this universe is embracing silliness while also keeping us grounded, like this is the most comic booky thing I've ever seen. This doesn't seem like a comic book universe on screen that's going to keep apologizing for being a comic book universe. Shows like The Flash, they always had characters come in and make a point of giving people silly names. And the MCU does it too. Like the Raimi movies, I think, did a great job of being like, no, this is the silly universe. And the MCU always kind of had a person like Tony Snark being a little sarcastic. Basically, they were gateways for people who didn't read superhero comics. And that's great. This to me looks like this is this is DC Comics on screen. And I'm so tired of comic book movies trying to apologize for their source material. Even the Dark Knight movies, they didn't apologize for it, but they definitely said Batman in a real world. They said this is how Batman would be in the real world. And I think Zack Snyder did the same, Superman in the real world. But we don't go to these movies to see these heroes in our world. We go to these movies so we can be in theirs. And I think that's exactly what this trailer has given us. I'm just so excited. Breakdown's coming soon. Thank you guys for watching. If it's your first time here, please subscribe, smash that bell for alerts. For ScreenCrush, I'm overwhelmed and Ryan Airy.